Concert Crew Podcast. We back again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Today, Snowfall.
Damn.
Woo, 6 seasons. Snowfall on FX. Woo, we got our little brother Lenny here, man. You know,
building.
Lenny is, you know, he's been here before several times. He family, man. So, you know, he's always welcome to the podcast. Author, just creative all around. We got this brother, man. I know he's a fan, so I had to get him in for this one, man. We going to talk about this Snowfall. But, man, fellas, after 6 seasons, what were your first feelings about the TV series Snowfall? And now that it's come to an end, now we're looking at it in hindsight.
I know for me, it was always like, we always like to compare shows. I think Snowfall and Power, people was always kind of comparing those. But to me, if you watch Snowfall, you know it's like no comparison to Power at all. It's like more realistic, more character driven.
Which Power? The new Power?
Nah, the one with Ghost and Tommy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like the one with Ghost, but okay, I feel you.
So, I mean, just better acting, better writing, better cinematography, just like an overall better product to me. Like it felt more real. I mean, Power was good, but at times it felt kind of soap opera-ish. Sometimes,
Absolutely,
because I think
a lot of things are far fetched in a way.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that they was bringing too much of the recent right now. You get what I'm saying? Into Power, like whatever was going on in life at that time, being as though that they was really acting a little bit before that, they was bringing that more into Power. Like, all right, so you might hear the recent somebody's song or whatever, then you might see them in the club. And they might, you get what I'm saying? But Snowfall was more of this is an old fashioned movie. We were bringing this from day one, old school to the modern time.
We are in the
but
80s.
We are focused. You get what I'm saying? So you can't compare it to nothing like that. You get what I'm saying? So you have to compare it to things like The Wire, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was stellar. You know what I'm saying? I kind of hope John was alive to finish, you know what I'm saying, the parts that he was missing from. But from how everything went, it was good, man. It was probably one of the best series I seen on regular TV with commercials. That I didn't mind the commercials. And you know how that go. So and that's just how I feel about it. It's so much more in the detail, but as far as when I hear people starting to compare, it's like, nah, I don't compare it to that because, you know, things like that, you can put sauce on them whatsoever, you know what I'm saying? But we're stuck in the time. Like, we went somewhere and shot this movie for a long time.
And it felt like we was in the 80s.
And we was in the 80s. We was away from everything. We didn't let the outer world come in and play a role in this movie. Like, it was payphones. It was actually payphones.
Yeah.
It was actual beepers. We not slipping up and somebody all of a sudden got a flip XL90 cell phone Motorola.
Somebody got
this real rap. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah. This is real rap. And that's what separates a lot of movies. And for shows like that to be coming on regular TV, you don't really catch.
Yo, but you know what else Snowfall had that I really liked the first season? The music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the soundtrack, the background music.
Absolutely.
Man, they had that shit on.
It took you back to that time. Because I was a youngin' around this time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a youngin', so that whole look and everything that was going on, it was it, yo.
Lenny, what about you, man?
Well, yeah, man. So you could see from the beginning of the show, right, while John was alive, those first 3 seasons, you can definitely see how, even though he died, you know, before the 3rd season came out, I'm pretty sure he finished shooting the 3rd season at that time.
Absolutely.
But you can definitely see the difference from the earlier parts of the season of the show.
Yeah.
And the difference in the last parts of the season. So first 3 to the last 6, 4, 5, 6, it's completely different to me. So what I mean is this: I got more educated on what it was like in the 80s in California with the drug game and how it came into California in the black community with those first 3 seasons. And I also got an intel on what it was like for Freeway Rick Ross at that time.
Yeah.
Because Freeway actually talked to John Singleton and gave him his life story in conversation before John even made Snowfall. Now I do know that Freeway had talked about, he didn't get anything signed or whatever for John to make the show, but on an artistic side, I actually got to see what it was like for Rick Ross at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just I like how John
because the movie definitely is portraying him.
Yeah, exactly. So Franklin,
that's the most important part.
Yeah. So Franklin Saint's character, man, it was just those first season 1, 2, and 3. I got to see what the 80s was like, and I was gonna ask you guys, even though you guys were on the East Coast, how was a lot of black people in poverty, and did y'all see a lot of people strung out on crack at the time and things like that? Like, how was it?
It wasn't real blatantly evident.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like more of it is now, because you might go down the street and you'll catch a person nodding,
mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. So it was there, but it wasn't so potent. The thing about it, in the neighborhood that I'm from and during our time, is that it was a lot of black businesses when we was coming up around that time, around the 80s, and especially over East Side alone. So you got these black businesses that's cornerstones and that's tied to the families in the community. You know what I'm saying? So all that comes into play when I see the parts of Snowfall where, it seemed like everybody knew Franklin, things of that nature, which made him the best drug dealer. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So, and that's how it is in the environment. But around these times when we was coming up, I know in East Wilmington of Delaware, it was a lot of black businesses from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill, from the left to the right, well, from the east to the west to the east side. It was nothing but black businesses, from liquor stores to everything. Corner
that was
stores,
the thing too. It was like
hair supply.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that a lot of that in, that 80s coming real hard in Cali. Because in Cali, that's what you think about who had the businesses before of who? The Mexicans and everybody else. It was a lot of black businesses that from what I got from Snowfall and from what John Singleton brought it into that made the culture and made us as the black people over there like more in a higher light than me. That's how I looked at it.
Well, his whole purpose, John Singleton's whole purpose of Snowfall was to capture the era before Boys in the Hood. So he already gave us Boys in the Hood, which is a classic. He wanted to capture the era before Boys in the Hood in the 80s. And that was the whole background. It's kind of hard for me to really compare like the Snowfall and that era to us and the East Coast, because the West Coast is just different. It's just
totally different.
It's a different atmosphere. Like our city compared to their city is different. Like they got palm trees. It's just different. Like their houses look different.
Gangs.
Like they got the big yards. Where I was from, we didn't have that. But some areas like in Newcastle and stuff may have had that. But where we was from, it wasn't really like their whole look. It was just sidewalks. Their houses and their hoods look like that, where you got big grasses,
you had to cut the grass.
Trees. Yeah, it was a different look. So I didn't personally at that age know what a crackhead was. Like he said, I might seen somebody nodding, but I didn't really know what a crackhead was. So I didn't really understand the crack era until I got older to kind of understand the real impact of it. But still, even saying that, the West Coast is a different experience. This is an entirely different experience, and they captured
totally different.
If you're Lenny's age and you don't know nothing about that, like they captured that. Like this is a great show, and it was a roller coaster ride, and to me it was realistic. I think it was great writing. I'm big on writing. I can acknowledge when this is some great writing, and they had some moments, Lenny. I agree with you. There had some moments where when John Singleton passed, where I felt like, I don't know if he would have co-signed this, but I felt like with the tiger and all that, they was moving a little. I was like, damn, they ready to go to another. And then
power.
But then it got back. It got back though. It got back. But they had some hiccups.
They definitely did.
But some great shows. But it impressed me because they got it right again.
Yeah.
And then it ended. And it was realistic to me. I know it wasn't everybody's,
but it was possible.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It was possible. You know what I'm saying? Because back that time, you know that neighbor to have a crazy ass animal in the house. I know I did. Even from when I was over north side of Vander Ave, my dad used to go over there. I had neighbors over there that had crazy animals. You know what I'm saying? So it was believable. You know what I'm saying? And then you never know, you in Cali anyway. Anything's possible.
It was a great show,
But
man. It was a great.
It was brought back, but I was like, damn, a tiger though.
A tiger though. That's what I'm like. That's a tiger. They reached a little bit. They reached a little bit.
So it was like,
and then the wedding a little bit. You know,
the wedding.
That was my first little part where I'm like,
The wedding was like, I think he stole that from Blow. You know what I'm saying?
You did say that. You did say that.
But actually, without the wedding, that changes the whole ending of the show. Because once Franklin got drugged and he was high off the LSD, he called Teddy. Was like, "Yo, I want my fucking money." Yeah. And without that, none of this would have even happened. And that started the whole rift between him and Teddy. So you needed that wedding scene. So
I mean, they could have got it without the wedding, but but I see what you're saying. So before we get to what happened, how did you think when the season 6 started? It was a build up. Franklin was going to go after his money. How did you, in your mind, think it was going to end?
I didn't know. I mean, to me, like, that's how good of a show is. Like, you just I mean, me coming in, I have no type of expectations. It's like, yo, this is the story. You tell it to me.
Yeah.
And I was definitely happy with it. I didn't know what to expect. I thought hopefully him and Jerome would have got cool and finished, put their little beef aside and got back together. But after episode 1 and 2, it's like, yo, this is really going on. So
yeah.
Well, I was thinking because I think the writing was great on this show. So I was thinking something far-fetched. Like, I'm thinking like, okay, what would a writer write? It's not going to be what we think. Like, there's no way he's just going to get money and just live happily ever after. Yeah. So I was thinking almost, all right, maybe they're going to like reel us in and then something like some of the great movies of the past. Like, okay, say Franklin did look like he just like won. But he had all his money, but then everybody around him like pretty much took an L.
Yeah.
And then when it looked like he was going to be the one to ride off in the sunset, I feel like they was going to throw a whole little monkey wrench in there, and then somebody like Melody come back and kill him. Like that's what my thinking. Something outlandish that we would, because we forgot all about her, but she got reason to come back, and he think he won.
Witchcomb got embarrassed. He came back and killed Pop.
Something like that. But that would be believable though.
Yeah.
But just something. Because I'm thinking like it's not going to be this something that you feel like it's going to play out and this you predicted and it's happened like that. It's going to be some other stuff.
But you knew coming in that characters were going to die.
Absolutely.
People were going to drop.
Well, me myself, we already knew what the show was based around, so I'm thinking, all right, okay, well, we seen Franklin get out of the first jam with jail. All right, it's about time for him to get locked up. You know what I'm saying? The chase of this money. You feel me? And I just thought that Franklin would be jailed before the way that they had him going out.
And, go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought, honestly, that the way that I would have wrote it or whatever, that just to be kind of like, on a realistic side, everybody pretty much would have passed away, like would have got killed by the CIA in some way, shape, or form and not made it through that way. Even Gustavo, everybody would have just died. And the CIA would have won. Of course, they won anyway, I'm just saying, but they would have won. Teddy would have been alive, and Wanda would have been hooked back on crack, and Leon would have been dead as well. And that's how the show would have ended. Because it's like, yo, this is the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a fairy tale for anybody. No. And guess what? The bad guy won.
Big brother, you know what I'm saying? Big brother controls the narrative.
Exactly. And so to me, you have to finish off a show like that to make it even more great. And it was a great show. I loved it. One of my favorites. But I would have wrote it just like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to kill everybody off.
Yo, I was just thinking, you know what's weird about Snowfall?
That'd have been a dope ending.
They don't have no theme song or anything. Ain't that weird?
Yeah. It just comes on.
It just comes on. There's no big rich
That's
town.
What makes it more dark. That's what makes it more dark than me.
Dark.
You know what I'm saying? But it was. Oh man, it's a good show, man. It's a good show. Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Definitely.
Let's go.
All right, now the Snowfall ended. We all seen the ending.
Sir.
We all seen the ending with Franklin Saint. What do you think about the ending? Now this is a hell of a build up, and I can say I don't know if y'all agree or not, but this season 6 has been very dramatic. It was definitely a build up to me, they did a great job to get to this ending. How do you feel about the ending of Snowfall? How it ended with Franklin Saint, and what was your reaction? Because this was mixed. It was a mixed reaction depending on who you are.
Well, to me, I feel like it just shows that the greed that Franklin had trying to get his money the whole time, and then it's like he looks back at all the things he lost. He lost his mom, his dad, his friends, his uncle. You know what I'm saying? Everything's around him gone, and he's left with nothing. And he's just like a alcoholic, pretty much. So it's like, was it worth it? Like, did you? Maybe he should have left the game early, like Leon. So that was kind of cool to see Leon kind of be on top and still keep his sanity. You know what I mean? And it just shows like there's always that one guy that had it all and lost it all. And we all know people like that in our families and friends, and it's just the reality of what it is. I mean, I thought that he would be hooked on drugs that he was selling, but he ended up being like an alcoholic. So
yeah, to what? To what? Why you think they made it for him to be on alcoholic? To resemble his pop.
Definitely was his pop.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely was a
that's why they wanted
circle.
it for him. Like, all right, you're a product of your environment. You're your father's child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they was basically saying. How he was going to
somebody that he said he never would be like.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
whole time he was preaching that.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's why he ended
Never
up
be
being
like you, Alton.
What do you think about the ending, Lenny?
Yeah, so like, I think that was one of the best ways to end it. Like, of course, I give you guys a scenario on how I would have ended it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm not disappointed in the ending. And just like Freak said, man, he turned out to be just like his pop. And Franklin was a very intelligent young brother.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Very beginning to see, very intelligent. He had goals, he had dreams, and of course every black man has to go through obstacles. And when it came to these obstacles, due to him getting money hungry and power hungry, he failed himself in the end because he didn't even want to hear advice from Leon or his mom. But that's part of character development, and he turned out to be just like his pop.
Absolutely, but it's also when things of that nature come within play and you've been running a strong ship for so long and we know what needs to happen or how it needs to be done. When we start having altercations from within to disrupt the plan, of course things going to get shaky. Of course that's when he's going to get in his, his greedy mode or his takeover mode. Because we not sticking to the plan. We said the plan before we sat down with this one bird. We said the plan.
Yeah.
This is the plan.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? It was the power that some was given within the whole come up that when at one of the most important times when Frank disappeared. And when he disappeared, he went to jail. So now everybody playing a bigger role in seeing how Frank was running it, and they seeing more.
Yeah.
So now the ball's back. Nobody want to get back in their respective positions because they've seen what they can grow. But you wouldn't have been able to grow that without Franklin.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so let's get back to the plan. That's what you're supposed to do. Next man up. But I'm back. And that was every time a woman, I'm telling you. But I guess, I'm moving too fast, but.
Well, I think the ending, and actually, I don't know if y'all noticed, but John Singleton actually, even though he passed away, they actually discussed the ending of the series before all of this. So he actually was in on the how it would end, and they never wanted him to go to jail or die. They said that would be an easy way out.
Yeah.
So they wanted him to go. So that was never on the table. They didn't want it. They was like if they was like him going to jail or dying would just be an easy way out. They wanted some kind of other alternate ending. And this was not what I expected, but as I sat on this and I watched it and then I thought about it for a couple of days after, I'm like, this is really great. This was a really great ending because it was like Franklin could have, so him getting everything he wanted, him getting the $73 million was off the table, but he could have cut his ties and just walked away with something.
Yeah.
But no, Franklin wanted everything. He wanted it all or nothing.
The greed.
So he literally gave it all up because he couldn't get all that he wanted. And he became such a savage that nobody had his ear anymore. Not his mom, not his friends, not his wife.
Yeah.
Nobody had it. He was so obsessed the game. And it's crazy because Teddy helped create this monster. This was just a kid that was worried about going to school, not a care in the world. Before he was getting robbed in the beginning, he ain't know nothing about the game. He became a savage. He became what he was in the sixth season. He became this dude that was he was scared to kill people. He became a straight murderer. Like he became a savage where it was all about my money. At some point, I don't care if it's my mom, my uncle, my aunt, my wife, my best friend, like all y'all gotta go. I want my money. Like that's what he became. So he didn't get it and he lost everything not getting it. And then the way it ended with him and Leon coming back, Leon loves this dude. He loves you, man. You put me on the game. Like, but he said, man, I'm free. I don't even want you to help me. I'm good. I'm free. I'm out here with nothing. Like, I don't got no house no more. I'm living in the streets pretty much. You know what? I'm free. I don't need you to pay nothing for me. I'm good. And that's what he wanted. And then pride came on. Like, he was just prideful. That was a great ending, man. That was well wrote. It was well wrote.
Cinematic art right there.
It was real, man.
It was dope, but as usual, like I said, when you looking to break something that's strong and solid, it always grows from within, man. Within the foundation that's building it.
And it wasn't just Teddy.
You can't get it. You can't nobody outside break it up. It's from within. It's from your own people that you got there. Somebody that's looking like, man, fuck him. I've been doing this and I've been doing that. You wouldn't have been able to been doing this and been doing that.
Yeah. And Louis explained it though. She said when she was talking to Jerome before he passed away, she said, I just wanted the same respect that you got.
Yeah, but that's not her lane.
Yeah. All of it, but I'm saying all of this division was created because you just wanted just more respect from people.
Yeah,
like so you created this wedge that was a big.
But
part
you don't have that. You don't have that right to do that.
I agree with you.
You feel what I'm saying? Relax.
Because she was nothing before that.
Yeah, my point exactly. You was a dyke side joint, or a dyke worker, or a dyke wife. That's what you was. Like, come on, man.
A lot of people can't put their ego down.
Exactly.
As human beings, when no matter what industry you in, or even if you in a drug game, it's like that ego and that pride. When the longer you stay in it, some people are mature enough to be like, you know what, I'm gonna stay in my lane. Then some people are immature, like,
because the pride kills you. Mm-hmm. It gets you in a situation and it blinds you. It blinds you to the fact that when you in that lane and you got so much pride of not sticking to the plan, it blinds everything. So that's when everything else come into play. The rats, the police, the jack boys, the stick up kids or whatever. You feel me?
People like Man Boy that want to step up and be a man. You know what I'm saying?
Prime example.
Man Boy is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? But prime example. You know what I'm saying? So when all that comes into play, and then when you got a woman that's running off emotion, you feel me? It eliminates so much and it blinds everything and it makes things. Man, look at all the killings and things that happen.
But then on top
how do they happen? Like really, like especially like dealing with a female. It's because of pride.
Yep. But Louis, she was acting out of emotion, but then doing things out of spite. That got the whole family.
She thought she was bigger than what she was because she brought the chef.
But she
you wouldn't have had enough in this chef if it wasn't for me. So you brought something to the table. Okay, now you're going to make more money because you found the plan. You found the way for us to grow. What are we talking about? You get what I'm saying?
But she also had Unc's ear. So that was big. That was big because that created.
Carl, look at your ear, baby. I know you sweet. I'm gonna kiss you right there every time. You know what I'm saying? Then when I'm mad at you, I'm rolling over. You know what you gotta do? You gotta break a little bit to get what you want. Come on, man. Some of the best pillow talk conversations happen in the bed, man. Soft whispers. Fucking you up, man. You sit there, you probably Unc was drunk, probably came in one night. It's over.
That's a wrap.
Louis got him. That's how it happens, though, man. That's why you gotta stay strong, and that's why Franklin lasted for so long because he didn't have a woman.
Yep.
And then when he found somebody, it was somebody that was turning him on to game for him to become a better person and invest his money a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And his backbiting that he did to her and was hurting her made her take an outside route. You know what I'm saying? But he was so working off pride trying to get the money back from the guy that took the money from that actually gave you the money. It blinded everything else. He didn't even see his wife working behind his back.
Yeah.
You should have known your wife was funny from the rip because her mom was funny. Who raised the wife? Eventually it's going to come out. Yeah, mom, boy, go ahead then because it's my man. In the whole back of my mind, something go wrong. I'm getting this nigga. I'm the one who set it up.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the one time he got weak, that's what happened.
Well, for those of you who have never seen Snowfall, man, for those of y'all who have never seen Snowfall, Snowfall is an FX crime drama series created by the late John Singleton, Eric Amadio, and David Andren. It first aired on FX on July 5th, 2017, and the last episode aired April 19th, 2023. The series follows budding drug dealer Franklin Saint, played by Damson Idris, as he navigates selling crack cocaine during the 1980s crack epidemic in South Central Los Angeles. The show is loosely based, like we discussed, off the life of Freeway Ricky Ross, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. It is. It was set in Los Angeles between the years of 1983 and 1990. The series revolves around the first crack epidemic and the impact on the city and the stories of several characters whose lives are connected to drug dealer Franklin Saint, Mexican wrestler Gustavo El Oso Zapata, and CIA operative Teddy McDonald, and Mexican crime boss's niece, Lucia Villanueva, or however you say that, if you remember it from the beginning. Yeah. Let's get into some of the characters and your overall feelings of them. And this is going throughout the series, so if you just kind of just watched at the end, you may not remember some of these people, but they were definitely big parts of some of the storylines of this. So first, the main character, Franklin Saint, played by Damson Idris.
What great character development from him from the start to the end is like two totally different people. That just shows the growth of him as the writing, growth of him as an actor. Man, he did his thing as Franklin Saint.
It took his time. The whole, it just took its time. It showed you how Franklin grew up. You watch Franklin grow. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It didn't try to end you in 3 seasons. Like, we just got finished talking about something. And it made you feel it. And that's what I said, like that 80s vibe, the cars, the haircuts, the clothing. You know what I'm saying? And it made you feel like you was there if you wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
So was y'all ever like rooting for Franklin to?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely. Yeah. I rooted for Franklin a lot.
Most of our heroes, drug dealers in the neighborhood.
I rooted for him
you know
a
what
lot.
I'm saying?
But I understand. That's why some people that's like, man, I wanted him to get this money, but I understand for the story what it meant for him to end like that. But I was definitely rooting for him a lot. And this man is not even from America, so just to hear him talk in real life and to hear how he acts, and particularly how he acted on the last season, like that, it was amazing acting. He deserves an Emmy nomination for the last episode alone, if not for the whole season. Yeah. But he did a great job.
You know, who actually trained him to actually talk like that, right?
Who?
Dub C.
Really?
West Side Connection. Yep.
He talked about that.
He got a check for that
or something, right? I think.
He got a check for that.
Yeah. He was
telling
him
my bad.
Yeah, he was like telling him how to talk like, West Coast and stuff.
I gotta give a shout out to the writers though, for because they looked out for Damson. If you guys remember in the episode when Franklin first got pissed off at Leon in the car, and that went super viral. After that moment, the writers of the show made sure they kept giving Damson Idris emotional moments where he would get pissed off because he started getting Denzel comparisons. And here's where the teamwork came in. Here's where the teamwork came in with the crew. They would write him a lot of emotional scenes after that to keep giving him the Denzel comparisons, because after this show, you already know he's going to get a lot of looks for shows and movies and things like that. And that's how you look out for somebody on the team. Like, I appreciate what they did for this young brother. Because he's a great actor. And not only that, they gave him the right scenes. And that's how you work as a team. So I got to give a shout out to the writers and the crew.
And also to add to that, the scene in the last episode when he walked in, he walked in Leon's spot and he asked him for the $3 million, and that was Denzel-ish, kind of Training Day-ish. Yeah. But also when Leon came back, Damson improv the part where he was like, Damson said I wanted to say something improv off the script to see if I could get Leon's character to really react in real life.
Yeah.
And he said when he said the part like "you my best friend," he said it made him cry. It made Leon's character cry in real life, and he was like, "I got him." Like but that wasn't even on the script. He just was trying to say something that can trigger his emotion to make it even look realer. And he improv that like "you my best friend" or whatever. You always my best friend. However he said it, and that caused him Leon's character to cry, and he was like, "I got," in his mind like, "Yeah, I got him."
Yeah,
that was dope.
That's what's up.
But we all can agree that he did a great job as
Awesome
first.
job.
Absolutely.
Awesome job.
Yeah, beast.
Now, what about Teddy McDonald, played by Carter Hudson?
Great villain.
He was a super
Great villain. Yeah.
super.
But was
great.
about his paper and was bringing that work in. He was bringing that work in. And he was a dirty motherfucker.
Yes,
He was if he could pull wool over your eyes, he was a dirty motherfucker, boy.
Yo, this is a great acting job, but this is also another coming of age story.
Look like AR clips.
Because this monster was created. It was all
the government created.
He wasn't that guy. The government created. He was really turning to Tony Montana or something by the end.
You got to peep like every time they was sending one of the dude there. They sending him there to check on him, make sure he's still in sync because he's so involved with that life. Man, yo, man, don't forget, man, we are doing this for the CIA. You look like you real drug dealing right now. Like, nah, nigga, this was going on, real drug dealing. Like, and I think that, yo, it could have, like, man, I like the ending that you say you like, and I like all the endings that we thought we had. But it's just something about Teddy getting away with the governor's money and saying fuck them that makes a great ending to me. I'm just being real because he was really a stoolie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was a stoolie, and we all heard about when we heard the stories, even through the Malcolm X stories in the days when they was talking about who brought the drugs over. They used to always say CIA. I was wondering why they used to always say CIA. Yeah. But now it's coming out on it really was the CIA.
Yo, so what's like the dirtiest thing Teddy ever did, you think? That was like, damn, that's fucked up.
I mean, he first of all, he monitored everybody. He like did surveillance on everybody.
And also the bank shit. He took Franklin over there with the bank.
Yeah.
You know, set him up with the bank account knowing that he could clean him out.
Yep, he knew them. He knew where to go.
And he put him up with the Javi motherfucker. The Javi motherfucker was a piece of shit from the rip
Yes,
too. He was a piece of shit. I don't know if you coming up to him, but you can go ahead and work him in right now. Javi was a piece of shit on the low end. Javi was a rat. He was the rat of all rats.
Yes,
he was a kingpin rat because you know why they let him live out there? Because he know a lot of shit.
Teddy was such a savage though. Even when they brought him to the phone booth to talk to the bank people to transfer the money over.
Yeah.
And of course, when he lied to the mom at first, when he was like, "Oh yeah, your husband's
She
alive,"
believed
or whatever,
him.
and she believed him. And when she asked him, he's such a savage. He's like, "Oh no, fuck no, he's dead." Like, damn.
I put two in this head.
I was just like, wow. He said
because that's what was supposed to happen. He disrespected.
To me, that was the most savage moment because it's like he don't give
fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah, no fucks at all.
Yo, but to me, which is always kind of funny, half of 73 is not 37.
I heard that too, but I mean, you got to round it though. I guess. I mean, I heard that.
I
too.
was like,
I heard that too. But that's the number he came with. Teddy was a great character. He was definitely. You love to hate him. I wanted him to die for a long time, honestly, because I just think he was so dirty. And I don't really think. I mean, he really created this. Like he created. This is like a big game to him. Yeah. But to the people involved, this is real life. Like you created division and he purposely created division with people. Like like you said, man, Teddy was scum, dog. Like Teddy grew to be like he wasn't that guy at all. He was nothing.
He turned into a motherfucking savage.
He turned into a savage.
Yeah.
He turned into a killer. What he did with his dad was grimy. Like that was grimy. He told him to go there.
His brother.
His brother, they just was giving him cocaine until he died. Like that was crazy, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
yo, but
a lot of dirt.
With Teddy, some of my favorite scenes was when he was with his baby mom, like that whole dynamic with her and his son. I thought that was kind of cool, but then they kind of got sidetracked from that. And he was like a lone wolf type, you know what I mean? But
showing them scenes with the baby mom and the son kept the character grounded as far as a family man, to where with the audience's mind is first like you hate Teddy, and then when you see him you're like, okay, I kind of understand him, but then like you said, then they got sidetracked a little bit, which I don't think they actually meant to get sidetracked, but so much is going on. But I feel it's exactly what you're saying.
But then Franklin, just like Franklin, Teddy, he became such a savage that he didn't even care about that element no more. Like, they ain't mean nothing to him. I just want to make sure y'all all right. But I'm so into this because he thought he was like Tony Montana. Like, he thought he was a real gangster at some point.
He was. I told you they had to come back and check.
He wasn't CIA.
Like, yo, man,
no
you know, you still work for government, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't like he was working for the CIA. He enjoyed selling drugs. Yeah. Like, he enjoyed it.
He had his blinders on of, I gotta get this product out. I gotta get this.
Absolutely.
He had to move a certain way. His life was on the line at certain stakes. For real.
Moving drugs.
He was running in the motherfuckers that really didn't know him and really didn't believe he was who he was. And shit like that. About to blow his head off.
Absolutely.
Selling
few
drugs,
times.
Guns. He was pushing everything.
What about Sissy Saint? Michael High. Her name's
She
Michael
a piece
High.
of shit.
Hey, that's Florida Evans right there.
That's what they said.
Florida Evans.
You ain't feeling her, freaks?
Nah, I ain't feeling her.
She was in The Wire, too.
I know. I ain't feeling her in this. She's a piece of shit in The Wire, too. She wasn't writing The Wire. Like, she was like she was all that. Like, she was the... You know what I'm saying? She was running pressured in.
Why'd you hate her
well,
so
you know
much?
She killed your nephew. She was running pressured in on him. She a piece of shit, man. Here, man.
Why though?
That's just good acting. See?
Yeah, but it's horrible taste and horrible choice.
Freaks, her husband did get killed.
All right, fuck him. What the fuck's up with him? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? The same dude that left her, that for real, wouldn't have been back if it wasn't for Franklin. Then Franklin brought him back to the house or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did that. He dug his own hole. Nobody told him. Now he's all of a sudden, you know what's going on when you really ain't got nothing. Now is, son, wherever you need me at, I'll do it. But now what you find out what's going on, now all your Black Panther, pro-Black Panther, make it the fuck out of here. Now all that type shit come back. Man, the CIA, he held one of my men captive before. Like, you got a reason to, man, fuck out of here. You fucked everything up. And she know that. So for you to fuck the future up of the family, you talk about going to Africa. How you want to go to Africa if I don't get my money? You know what I'm saying? Let's go start a new life here and there. How we gonna do it? We don't give my money. You all emotional over a nigga that didn't give two fucks about you. Because if he did, he wouldn't have did it. He did, man. He brought the whole shit down. And then she made it worse. All over a motherfucker. Man, listen, man, that motherfucker gone. He shouldn't have did what he did. Franklin did his part by trying to get y'all away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the fact that you feel like that lets me know that she did a great job right
Hell
there.
yeah.
Like
It was great
triggered
acting.
that emotion and means for people, that means you did a great. You did your job.
Absolutely. She did a hell of a job. She did.
That was a real
hell of acting.
Crazy moment.
But overall, as a mother, knowing the situation and knowing everything they built and all that, and you let it slip like that over a nigga that's no longer here, and him, all right, cool. Let the money go through, and I'm gonna kill you as soon as the button get through. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing.
Listen, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, like you fucked the whole shit up. You totally involved. You done smuggled shit. Like, and that's when he had to let her know, like, Mom, you're a criminal too. You know what I'm saying? You all the laundering with this and that. You brought that shit up.
Washing the money, everything.
She definitely did her dirt.
Oh, now your little house down and shit. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, man. And then for real, you got to look at this. She really didn't care for Leon too much because Leon was a bucker. So Leon turned into the man that Franklin wasn't anymore. You know what I'm saying? So now her love for Leon is real good. And then her girl, you know what I'm saying? Leon basically saved the girl. They basically saved the girl. Wanda. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's why in the end, when Leon went to go see her, she was happy to see him because that's what Franklin was.
Mm-hmm. The roles
she didn't really
reversed.
like the you get what I'm saying? Leon was a ruthless.
Yeah, well, he was a ruthless.
He was game banger. But what made her and Leon closer is when Leon killed that little girl. and she was watching out for him, and she was going over there making him eat and talk to him. That's when they became closer, and
braided
Leon
his
turned
hair
into a different person.
All that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because she really found out why he really was the way he was. Because she didn't really want to go over there and fuck with him. She like, but how's he doing? Because she know that's Franklin's friend, and she watched him grow up. You know what I'm saying? So once she got over there and started being around him more, that's how he grew on her. And
I never thought about it like that. Like, like
that's a good point.
Like, he was that kid that like, yo, don't hang around him, Franklin.
Yup.
Like one of
He
those
was
type
one
of
of them.
characters.
And that's what he was until
then he came full circle.
Yeah.
then he came full circle. You know what I'm saying? And then especially after, you know, the killing shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then everything turned him around, and then that's when his girlfriend was like, "Yo, we totally different people now." Once they went over there and came back, we totally different people now. Like, it doesn't feel right. So that's when she started doing, you know what I'm saying, going around there helping, boom, boom. But you know,
that's a good point. That's a good point. So what about Jerome Saint, played by Amen Joseph? That was Franklin's uncle in The Muscle.
Big Onk, big Onk, man.
The Muscle. He had a lot to do with Franklin adjusting into the game too.
Everybody got a big Onk, man. That was clean, man. That was always. He was like, Onk, man, I love you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really cool. Because the Onk that turned his head when he knew you did something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Jerome was. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened it was Franklin only uncle. So that's what made their bond so special. Yo, I'm telling you, the way they wrote this shit was amazing. Like, it was real.
He was kind of
really,
like
really
a father
good.
figure for him.
Exactly.
Like,
that's why I hurt him so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, damn, man, like, what did I do? When he was sitting at the table, they was going across. That was a big scene.
That was a great scene.
That was a crazy scene.
Great
You know what I'm
scene.
saying?
Yeah.
That was like, damn, like, and he hit him because he like, motherfucker, I gotta spank you for talking to me like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I put change, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? So that was why he.
That was a mean hit.
Man.
That's right. I'm surprised he didn't knock his ass out.
Yeah.
Twice.
So that's when that happened, he was like, damn, like, I lost it. Like, I'm a terrible uncle.
How did it get to this point?
Yeah,
He actually said, "How did I?"
You know how?
Yeah.
He actually
You know
took,
how? The woman.
He actually took the
The
blame.
woman.
He actually
Come
took
on,
the,
like,
You're right.
But he actually took the blame
Woman.
for what Franklin became. Like, he took
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
damn, I failed.
This is my fault.
I failed as an uncle.
Yep.
No, he had Franklin selling weed for him in the very beginning, right? And then it I know
he
escalated later on, but it was but everything was cool still. Like, I still love their relationship and everything.
And Franklin loved his girl, man.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have happened without her. He realized that, but the whole thing is that she bit the hand that fed her.
Yeah.
And that's how it usually happens. She was working off emotion. She bit the hand that fed her. He loved her. He could have walked away and didn't give a fuck about her no more.
Yep.
Yeah.
He ain't had to put no plan together, come back and risk getting killed or none of that.
Yeah.
He knew how his uncle felt about her.
Yeah.
And then, and what was so crazy is that, yo, man, that scene before Jerome left for the day and he was arguing and he was just done. He just wanted to be done.
Yeah.
He felt it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they usually say death happens, when people try to make peace with things and things of that nature and just want to be done with things. That's when the death, and like they say that to this day, like in history, like, you know, things happen that like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
get clarity
what
on
if?
things.
Onk did a great job.
And Onk did a very good job.
Memorable
man.
scenes.
And he was
a lot
that
of
uncle.
memorable scenes.
Man, who uncle didn't want his system in the car back in the day? My uncle Jimmy, man, you know, a man, Lord rest his soul, he had one of the cleanest cutlasses with a banging system. And he was banging them old school, slow jokers talking shit songs, you know what I'm saying? Especially Rick James. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm telling you, man.
And then he had the Jerry Curl, and he actually is younger in real life than he actually looked on the show. So that was a great act in itself. But he had a lot of great scenes, a lot of memorable moments, a lot of memorable quotes.
What was the name of his shop? Jammin' Jerome.
Yeah.
Something like
that. Yeah.
And even at the end when he kind of left and went back out in the streets, and he just kind of wanted to just be like that guy in the community again, but he realized he wasn't that guy. Because of what he became, he just wasn't that guy no more. Even when he beat that girl to death, that was another crazy scene.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, man, you know, it was what it was, because one thing about Jerome, he was for family.
Absolutely.
He always was ready to buck.
At the end of the day, it was always
He was always ready to buck, and you could never disrespect this girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was downfall too.
That's why when his sister called him, like, y'all gotta make this right.
Yeah.
Like he felt that. Like he felt that. So we talked about Jerome. We can't talk about Jerome without talking about Luann Louis Saint, played by Angela Lewis. That became his wife. She also was part of Franklin's team, a big part of the team until things went sour. They actually separated themselves from Franklin and
When Franklin came back
and became their own entity. You know, so what do you feel about her in this?
As an audience member, though, when we speak about that actress who played her, she did a good job.
Absolutely, she did a hell of a job
playing with the audience's
for
mind.
you to feel it. For you to feel it.
Because it's moments where she feel like family.
Absolutely.
And it's moments where you can't stand her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I gotta commend that.
And that's how the uncle girlfriends and brother girlfriends be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Especially to who? Your mom. Because there was times that Franklin mom couldn't stand Louis.
Absolutely.
Because she felt though she had an ulterior motive.
Yep.
But in all actuality, she's telling Jerome, you know your sister, that's your only sister. She jealous of me. You know what I'm saying? And that's all she know is Jerome.
Yep.
That's all they got is each other. So, you know, that's one of the things that come to mind.
But it's also times where Louis held it down.
Yeah.
Like, Louis
was the plug for the cook.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't get crack without Louis, but you don't get coke without Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
When Franklin got booked and had to go to the joint, he knew it. He said, man, he made the best decision. He know Jerome dumb as a brick. Dumb muscle. Jerome the muscle. Dumb as a brick.
He had to get Louis to make the.
You know what I'm saying? Louis, I need you to take over, man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, plug my uncle wife gonna take over until I get back. When I come back, we'll be back business.
Yo, well, technically you don't get crack without RZA. First season.
Yeah, that was Louis.
But that was through Louis though.
That was through Louis. You know what I'm saying? Louis was that.
Absolutely.
But she couldn't take that and just be glorified on that. She wanted more. Why you want to be looked at as a nigga? Man, you're a woman, man. Listen, man. We need you to do other things, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure the oven off.
Make the sandwiches.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, but Louis know how to get paper. But she got too big.
Yeah.
She got too big for her bridges.
What about Leon Simmons, played by Isaiah John, Franklin's best friend and a major part of the team.
Great character, man. Great character,
amazing
man.
character.
You did a great job of playing that role reversal freaks because it's funny because he was the muscle. He was. Other than Uncle Jerome, like Leon was the go-to guy when even when
he was ready to go at all times.
Remember when Franklin got robbed or when Franklin needed somebody with him, he would always have Leon with him. Leon and them went into the hood looking for the dude who robbed them and all of that.
And
Leon went the sticky crib alone.
Yeah.
Then walked out threatening him.
Yeah.
Like, man, listen, man, we don't want no war, but you want a war, man, it's on.
Right.
And I'm here by myself, no gun coming to tell you. But Sticky respected him.
Yeah.
Don't nobody do that. He came into it, man. They wouldn't even let him through the front of the projects. Yo, woo. Yeah, let him up.
Yo.
Let him up. Yo.
My favorite Leon scene is when Franklin first went to jail, got beat up and shit.
Yeah.
And then Franklin,
He's
Leon
on the phone.
came in, he's on the phone. Yeah.
Like, when you go back in there,
Yeah, that was
you
hard.
make sure
That
everybody
was
watching.
a hard
Yeah.
scene.
That was hard.
Dope. Great
That was
acting,
hard.
man. Great
This what you
acting.
do.
Yeah.
That was hard.
You feel me?
That
So
was a
then,
great
like,
scene.
because Leon knew he was that dude. He knew Franklin was the good kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Leon, this my man. I gotta protect him.
He felt angry
I come
for
from
him.
I come from a different walk of life than Franklin. Franklin got his mom. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got my mom. You feel me? So he come from a different walk of life. And at the same time, she told him, like, I don't want you around Leon, because Leon was a goer.
Yeah.
So when they got the paper, come on, man, who doing the gun shopping? You seen who was doing the guns? Shit, Leon was on it, man. Leon was the muscle, man.
Yo,
Leon.
Avi, let me get this gold Uzi.
And then
Like,
that killing of the daughter changed everything around.
And it's funny
You know what I'm
because
saying?
people will say that, Leon made out good in this. And
Yeah, he
and
did.
it's funny because going up into the season, I thought Leon was going to die. Like I thought he was going to be one of the people that would end up getting killed somehow. Like,
But even Witch Call him got soft after that because he realized how valuable life was.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how him and Leon made up. You know what I'm saying? because Scully was open enough to open his heart to know that Leon really didn't mean to kill his daughter.
And he also was crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And he was crazy. And both of them was crazy. They both was crazy. That's why Leon went to go see him when shit was about to get ugly. Shit, my man, what's the light-skinned boy name? We mentioned him earlier. Man boy respected Leon. He's like, man, when you go on Franklin, you got Leon. For real. That's how it was. You know what I'm saying?
What about Gustavo El Oso Zapata?
He was a writer.
Played by Sergio Perez.
He was loyal. Gustavo was loyal, man.
He meant a lot to a lot of people. And he helped a lot of people on both sides.
Yo, man, he knew the secret tunnel, man, to bring the coke back, dog. You wouldn't even know it existed. He knew what it was. He was one of the people.
He was big in the beginning with the sisters, with the sister and them getting there, and he was their muscle pretty much. Then he was big for Franklin. He was big for Teddy. He was like big for everybody.
Yo, and he was very smart. He put shit together quick. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He might move like he wasn't thinking, but he put shit together quick.
What I really liked about his character was the fact that obviously you got the black side, but you saw him like the Mexican part of California at the time too. I thought that was dope too.
Great writing. Great writing once again. He did a great job. You mentioned Avi Drexler, Alan Obotu. He did teach Franklin stuff though.
He did.
He was trash at the end of the day, but he taught Franklin a lot. He was a snitch. But he had guns and
he turned sour, I was off. Once I knew he turned sour, they said, well, such and such cartel wants him because he told on such. I was like, oh man, this nigga's a rat. Yeah, they protecting him.
That changed the whole thing.
That changed the whole thing up with him because he seemed solid at first.
He seemed like a cool OG. You know what I'm saying?
And that scene at his crib when they somehow got away, that just kind of bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Because when people like that come in, they got everything surrounded.
But it's like his opening scene when he first met Franklin, he's like, put this bulletproof vest on. I'm gonna shoot you, and then he stood like that was dope, yo.
He was like Franklin was such a baby in the beginning to what he ended to be like those scenes when you saying that it makes me remember like
riding around with his book bag.
He was like a little kid for real until what he really grew. Like y'all talk about growing, like he really grew. Like that's a story playing itself out. What about Alton Williams, played by Kevin Carroll, Franklin's dad? Remember, he was in Paid in Full also.
He's the same type person. He got that role real well. Real shit. But like I said,
different.
That was a hell of it was a nice role.
He really was the first person that started talking about the CIA and what they was doing and really putting it out there.
Now he's sober, he remember everything. You know what I'm saying? He remember. Come on, man.
Coming back from the shelter.
Fuck everything up, man.
Yeah, he was self-detrimental, man. For real.
Yes,
I gotta be real about that. He was, man. So he hurt the bag for real.
And Franklin tried to talk to him, and then he just.
One thing about when you go on record and you start talking on these things right here, it gets played over and over and over again. So it's something that's a part of history. Mm-hmm. So when you go back to listen to his conversation, this guy was talking about the CIA years ago. But it brings up the CIA.
But mind you, this ain't talking about stuff with the streets. This talking about stuff with the government. This is the biggest big brother you can have. Like they ain't letting that stuff slide.
So now he's going. Y'all better kill him tonight. He did what? Y'all better kill him tonight. Come on, man.
There's no way you can get out of that.
There's no way you can get out of that.
What about Veronique Turner, played by Devin A. Tyler? That was Franklin's wife. Now, she came later. And she kind of just appeared. And she was interesting because it was like, you ain't know if she was shady or not. And I read the writers purposely wanted her to be like that. So when she did the thing at the end, people already was like, we ain't trust her anyway. So
the mom knew that. The mom had that hunch. You know what I'm saying?
But the mom built her. She created her. Like that was her.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where she got it from.
They didn't really develop her at all.
No, I'm talking about Franklin mom.
Yeah, he's talking about Franklin mom.
I'm talking about Franklin mom.
Franklin's mom. Yeah.
Franklin mom, but here it goes. This is her only son. So she's a little jealous. You know what I'm saying? So that's Franklin.
How did they even meet?
But well, Sean, you're actually right though. And here's where I disagree with the writers. There, you don't just throw nobody in like that.
I'm like, damn, he had a girl.
Yeah,
Like,
so like you can say which idea it was and try to tell the fans like, oh, this is what we're trying to do. Like, nah, it's kind of lazy that you did that because it's like
she came out of nowhere.
She came out of nowhere, and on a nice developed show like this, you have to character develop. That's the key
She's
point.
like,
You know, what
she's
I'm
like
saying?
the only character I think that didn't
That
get
was
that.
that was the flaw.
Yeah, that was a big.
That was the flaw.
A big flaw because she was the main character.
Because it made me feel as though I missed a couple episodes.
It
like,
sure
where
does,
the fuck
yeah.
she came from?
Exactly.
I
You
feel
have
like she
to.
just appeared in like season 5.
No, she came up. She came up in the start of the season.
When the first season started, I think it was season 5, right?
Season 5.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh yeah.
Franklin met a
five.
wife. Franklin met a wife while they was creating.
He was right.
Say it in
Season
so
5,
many words.
episode 1, she appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what
she
I'm
disappeared
saying?
with the
Yeah.
new season.
So that wasn't the same girl that
Not Melody, no.
not Melody. There was another girl he was talking to.
And then
Remember Man Boy was playing her?
Yeah,
Remember Man Boy had her giving
Yeah.
information they found out?
And then Lenny, they was sloppy and lazy because they could have brought it back with a spin on us, with her having thoughts of, or they could have been out somewhere and they reminiscing about the first date or when they met each other.
Yup.
Then show some old,
Yup.
great black and white joints of them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
the air bubbles. You know what I'm
You
saying?
right, man, you right.
I'm just being
Like a
real. You know what I'm
flashback,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah. Because they could have easily slid her in there like that, but instead she was like,
Boom.
season 1. What the fuck?
But I will say that to who Franklin was becoming, she was adding to him. So I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah,
she did add.
yeah.
She did.
But I
bring
want to
something
know.
to
But
the
I want to
table.
know how she knows this information.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to know about her mom before they introduce the mom that she had. Her mom know this and that.
Straight.
This joint
scammer.
come from Miami, straight scammer out of nowhere.
And he deep in the game.
And he
already.
deep in the game with her.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
What about Luisha Villanueva, played by Emily Rio? She was the daughter of the original in the beginning, the Mexican drug lords on the show. She was the daughter that ended up taking out her pop, like, which is crazy. So she actually had a vital. That was also that's how
that
he
was a
became.
girl,
You know, he was like their muscle, their help, the muscle,
security.
her. They was in like a relationship after a while.
She was the police too, right? Or the police infiltrated her. The police infiltrated the girl was the undercover cop that infiltrated her.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
here's the thing with that too, though. Here's the flaw with that. Due to the actress not wanting to come back to the show, even though it wasn't a huge announcement or whatever, I know she felt like playing this role, it was kind of dark for her and things like that. She didn't come back after the second season, but she could have played a pivotal role still.
I thought that she was going to somehow like pop back in at some point, but now that makes sense. I thought she could have came back in because she also had the relationship
That's some
with
new
Oso.
shit. I ain't never heard
Yeah,
that.
she didn't come
me
back.
neither.
So she was like the one that was with Gustavo at first.
Yeah.
You know, so she took over. She
What
killed
kind
her
of
pop.
acting she doing now?
Yeah. So like after season 2, she didn't show back up. And so, like, it wasn't a good. That's the flaw. It's like y'all gotta make sure y'all filling holes like that. You know what I'm saying? Because she played a pivotal role in the show.
Yeah, and it could have been nothing to reintroduce her. Like,
Yeah.
that she was wanted and she came back with some facial work, but a whole different person.
Well, she was somebody I thought that may pop back up.
Yeah.
Like I thought that she may have popped back up, but she didn't. And then her
Because
brother
she just left, right?
Yeah.
she just left.
Her
She must
brother
be doing some real good acting now. For her to just leave like
She
that.
did a great job, and her brother was played by Pedro Nava, Felipe Valle Costa. He was
Here's a
Luis's
piece
brother.
of work too.
He was a good little villain.
But he wasn't built built
dumb.
for the game though.
He was dumb.
He wasn't really built. They always played him because he wasn't built.
dumb.
Even Gustavo had to check him because
Yeah.
he was really trying to play the role,
And
but
he-
he wasn't really built.
And he
like
beat
that.
on women too. Didn't he beat on women or something? His girlfriend or something, whoever, or it was something. It was
Yeah,
something.
I
with
can't
her.
remember.
I can't
exactly,
remember.
but it was something with him. But he was just trying to be a kingpin, but he wasn't really built for the game, and he just wasn't. You know,
Didn't he get
something-
that CIA agent
He
in
was
there?
jealous. Yeah, he was jealous of his
Yeah,
sister.
yeah,
too.
He brought her to the circle.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, she shot like.
Yeah, he became a snitch. Yeah, he became a snitch. He came back after he was gone for a while.
Yeah.
Remember, he came back. That's when he was working with him. Melanie Wright, man, people may not remember her, but she was a big Rain Edwards. She was Franklin's original girlfriend until she got hooked on crack. She almost killed Franklin out of revenge and for her father, and he didn't he didn't do anything back to revenge that neither.
Well, she actually could have killed him.
Good ass.
That's
Well,
In
and
the
he
church.
let her know that I know where you at and I can kill you anytime I want you. Because you remember he walked up on her.
And he let her go though.
He let her go. You know what I'm saying? He was letting her know, like, yo, man, listen, you might think you low, but I'll blow you. I'll come and take you out.
But her
remember, he dropped the cane and started walking regular.
Yeah, and Carl brought up a great point earlier in the episode where he was saying it would have been great to even try to end that off of her killing him. Like, even, you know what I'm saying? So, like, because she kind of just faded away.
Yeah, she
you know what I'm
did.
saying? So, it's just one of those things. But it wasn't too much of a big flaw.
Or
It wasn't big, but I felt like if she would have, it would have been like, whoa, like that would have been like a crazy moment. But she did good, and then she got, it's a hell of a story with her because like she was one day away from going to Spelman, and she ended up getting hooked on crack, in the crack house.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
that was a good scene too, like showing Andre trying to like bolt the doors and lock the windows so she couldn't get out, and that whole transition of like the neighborhood changing right before his eyes, like the crack is starting to take over and neighbors is acting funny. Like,
And who would have thought his daughter would be in that? One night.
Yeah, and that's some things where you call a sad reality. How many women did that happen to in real life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the harsh reality, man. But it's the truth, though. And then her friend, which people understand, Wanda Simmons was originally Melody's best friend during this show. But she kind of grew to be her own character. But she was played by Gail Bean. She ended up being Leon's wife. But she got hooked on crack. She used to work for Franklin and them, remember? And then she ain't had no teeth at one point. Like, it was crazy. She became a whole fiend.
Yeah, she was. Top shelf. Top shelf feed. She was she was all the way out there.
She was all the way out there.
She was all the way out there.
she did a whole 180.
She was all the way out. And I felt like, a part of me felt like she was going to get hooked back on drugs on the end. I'm kind of glad that she didn't, but I felt like, damn, she's going to get strung out again.
Me too.
Because I thought Leon was going to get killed. And then maybe that was going to lead her to
depression.
She was too strong. She went over there and seen a whole different type of life.
I'm glad, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Speaking of that, when they was in Africa and they went to the slave trade place, I thought that was very important too. Like you know what I'm saying? Really how they touched the walls and all that.
Educational.
So they came back like, yo, what are we doing? Like, we selling our people, and like that was a very dope scene.
And
I think
major impact on
John
Leon.
Singleton Alive would have gave you so much more within that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have just been them viewing it and all that. It would have been somebody probably actually telling them, explaining it to them, things of that. Then they run it back. You know, because John Singleton, he that type dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He get you daydreaming. He can bring them daydreaming scenes in there, or like history scenes in there.
What about Scully, man? DeAndre Bonds
Played well.
crazy.
Yeah.
He's a crazy dude.
Yeah.
He is crazy, but I love how spiritual he became.
Yeah.
After dealing with what he dealt with.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
changed a lot.
Yeah,
He changed a lot.
Absolutely. And then that's why they became close. You know what
They
I'm
went
saying?
from enemies to friends.
Yeah, they went from enemies to friends because he was able to open his heart up to forgiveness like that. You know what I'm saying? Because when Leon did that, it changed his life as well. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You live with that?
Yeah, you killed a kid, man. That's how can that
That
not
humbles
change?
you.
Absolutely.
It humbles you, man.
That's the harsh reality too, right there. Too.
Yeah.
To see how they living with it. You know?
Absolutely. He did. Scully was a great character. Kevin Hamilton. Now, people may not remember Malcolm Mays. He ended up playing on what's 50 show? Raising Kanan. Raising Kanan, but he was the day one with Franklin and Leon. Remember, it was three of them in the beginning. But he was reckless with his behavior and
got killed.
And ended up getting killed.
Yeah,
that was
got
a big. That was a big part early on.
He wanted to know what Mexican killed his boys and stuff like that. So he just started
speeding.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
They told him to chill.
Franklin
told him chill. We gonna get it.
Yeah.
You don't know nobody. You ain't got nothing going on. You out here trying to pay somebody half a kid coke to tell you where somebody at. Come on, man.
And then his brother, which later became Kane Hamilton, Devon Nixon. He's Kevin's older brother. He came home from jail, avenging his brother's murder. Then eventually kind of made a pact with Franklin, and they kind of became cool. But in real life, he's also the son of basketball player Norm Nixon and Debbie Allen in real life. But Kane was towards the end. I think like fifth and sixth season, or fifth and sixth season. Yeah. What do you think about his character? Him and Jerome killed each other at the same time.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that he did a good job playing. Like I guess you can call it villain, but like he, you know what I'm saying. So when he came on the screen, I think they tried to do their best to put fear in your heart, like, okay, what is he about to do? Or
Yeah.
you can tell he was always pissed off. So it's like I like that about.
He
his
almost
character.
got killed too. The cop killed
Yeah,
him.
shot
The
him in
cop
the back.
shot him in the back,
Yeah.
right? Yep. So he had that whole recovery about that, and then he just wanted to kill Louis and like Louis and Jerome. He wanted to take them out, so that was a big deal. Ruben, Alejandro Etta, he's like a Cuban spy working with the Cuban division of the KGB. They were a security agency for the Soviet Union. Now he's the dude that got kidnapped at the end with Teddy. He was
Man,
He was like a mosquito, like in,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like as far as like annoying in a way. You know, it's like all right, you understand the character, but it's like all right,
you can't trust him.
You
man.
can't trust him. Yeah,
And he was playing Franklin and his mom and all that. He was playing them too.
yeah.
They thought he was cool, but he was playing them, man.
Now, what y'all think about the homosexuality stuff he had with him? Was that even necessary?
I don't feel like it was necessary.
I don't think
I
so
feel
either.
like
No, they got to slide it in.
I feel like that was based off the time. They just had to throw that in there, but it was to me it was no point. Like
But,
it was
yeah,
just it was
exactly.
totally unnecessary.
Yeah, when you go into a lot of writing rooms, they talk about representation in the writing rooms, and so even no matter what show you're working on, it could be a documentary and stuff like that. They'll be like, "Well, I want to be represented in this." So like now in Hollywood, that's going on a lot.
On every show, we see we can't miss it. You see it. Geesh. Andre Wright, played by Marcus Henderson, Melanie's dad. He was a cop. He had a good relationship with Franklin in the beginning, almost like a father figure mentor.
They were neighbors.
And then it went south.
Yeah.
He ended up Franklin
handled his
Franklin got a lot of bodies, man.
Franklin fucked the shit out of his daughter. It was on. He like that.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was more him selling drugs.
Yeah.
But then his daughter, I think it was even more that he was selling drugs.
His daughter liked it. He knew for a fact his daughter liked it.
And that he was a drug dealer too. That he found that he was selling drugs.
Yeah.
When he was a good, so-called good kid, he didn't have as much problem as that. He still was knocking her down though, for sure. Bo Buckley, Brandon J. McLaren, he was a dirty LAPD cop that worked with Louis.
He was in love with Louis.
Yeah.
And he also was on drugs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was scum too, man.
He was scum, and then
He's a piece of shit.
he was scum. Didn't they need him at certain points though to
They
just
did.
do things? So like,
he would give him information.
yeah.
But he wanted
He was
information
the inside
too.
plug.
Yeah.
Inside plug.
He was, man. Cassandra Turner, Freaks mentioned her. Tamara Taylor, Veronique's mom. She was a highly skilled con artist.
Yeah.
And she kind of helped, well, she didn't kind of, she helped Franklin locate the money at least.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At least locate it.
She knew the high players. So that right there would have set my antennas off about my motherfucking girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she also helped set up, she played a vital part in getting Teddy's dad.
killed.
Yeah.
She played a vital part.
Yeah.
So, Big Dion Barbara, Quincy Chad, he was the OG Crip who worked under Leon but wanted to take over the projects, and they had a great
That fight scene.
Yeah, that was a good
that was
fight.
classic.
Yeah.
That was
That's a
classic.
classic scene right there.
That was classic.
That was like almost like
Friday.
Craig and Debo type.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That was a classic. I ain't see that coming, but that was a classic.
Yeah.
That was a classic scene. It represented a lot.
Oh, remember when Jerome talked to him at the? He was just like, these young guys ain't like us or whatever like that. And I forgot what he said to Jerome, but he was like, I ain't like you either, nigga. So I was just like, dang, like he was like, I ain't nothing like you. Like I'm who I am as an individual. I was like, oh shit, Jerome ready to get up out of here.
Yeah. What about Claudia Crane?
Who that?
Judith Scott.
Name them all.
She was no. you don't know their names. You just know their characters. But she was the club owner who brought drugs from Franklin. She was Louis. Louis left
girlfriend.
Jerome.
Louis girlfriend. Yeah. Yeah. She was cool. She was getting money though, and she knew people.
Yeah.
She was like the plug. You know what I'm saying? When you got back in them days, I guess if you got the girls. She was a madam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got the whole house. You know the girls. You know these niggas. They talk to the women, so you get your information from the whole house.
Like a
You know
brothel.
what I'm saying? Yeah. So
she definitely
ran
was.
it, but she had her own club, and it was basically the hangout where everybody went at. But she was well connected. She had some money too.
She definitely was well connected. She definitely was the plug, and she had something over Louis because Louis left Jerome quick,
Went
fast,
back
and in
to
a
her.
hurry.
Yeah.
Jerome should have left her where she was at.
Unc was sick though. Unc was sick.
He sure was.
He was sick.
Damn, that was a hell of a change up. Word, how you do that?
Unc was sick, yo. Matt McDonald, Jonathan Tucker, Teddy's brother. He flew planes, which was a benefit for Teddy.
Yeah.
But he ended up getting caught by one of the connects, and they did him dirty, man.
That's probably like one of the craziest death scenes. Like, just make him do coke.
It made him do coke. Yeah.
And he ended up passing away.
That's where the moments is. That's when Teddy is really out here in the streets now, because them guys don't know his brother. Man, shit, man, where he at? He better come get you, because we about to kill you. You know what I'm saying?
But with that death, like, his dad called him, like, just calling, just to say that your brother's been dead. Funeral's over 3 days ago. Like, god damn,
that's crazy.
Like,
his dad.
Nobody told me about it. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, his dad used to talk to him disrespectful. Man. Man, and finally, Drew Manboy Miller, Melvin Craig. He worked with Franklin, but he had his own ambitions. Man, they had to end up taking him out. He also had the girl kind of working with him to try get get Franklin caught up. He was scum. But he was also an interesting character, though. Like,
I did like his character.
I like his character too.
Plus also his background being like a social media, he does like videos and stuff. So him showing his acting chops, like, yo, this dude is nice. Yeah, he got talent.
I think he played a good role. Yeah, it was a quick role, but it was a solid role. It was a memorable role. Yeah, for sure.
But it was also meaningful, because it's like, was that like Franklin's first real beef, like competition kind of
within his camp?
Yeah, within his camp.
Yeah. It was
from within. That's where it starts at, from within. I'm just saying. He feels though Franklin getting more than him. Or, man, fuck that. Why you got to tell me what to do?
Ego.
Yeah.
So Snowfall, what was the impact of this show?
My boy, man, the one that Lloyd got set up. The one that Franklin and Jerome ended up getting killed by at the end. You forgot him. He was a hell of a character.
He talked about Kane, I think. You talking about Kane?
Yeah, I did say Kane.
You say Kane?
Yeah. Okay. That's Kevin's brother, older brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I said Kane. Yeah. I would say, who you talking about?
And you said, what you call him? Partner, the cop that Franklin killed. His partner. Remember the white guy? He started taking money. He started telling Franklin, "You gotta give me money. I know you killed my partner."
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Andre's partner.
Yeah, Andre's partner.
Yeah, that was crazy. He had a part two. He played, because now he really want to lock Franklin up for that murder, because Franklin killed his partner due to the fact that Andre was the last person that he talked to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right. Yo, a lot of great.
Was a good character. Peaches.
Peaches was a great.
That was his first. Security,
great. He was a great character.
Peaches
also
took that money.
Also, surprising comeback at the end. I was not expecting that. It was a surprise comeback. His coming back for the last episode, very interesting. He did a good job, and for him coming from being a comedian. What's his name again?
D-Ray Davis.
For him being a comedian to play a role like that was dope. Man. Showed his acting chops a little bit. That was
crazy.
What
happened with the locksmith.
Yo, that whole sequence was crazy, but that was a message in its own right there. But he shot up damn near $5 million, man. Like, it's crazy. Him and the other fiends just shot up $5 million.
Wow.
When I seen that, I knew it's over for Franklin. Like, it's over, man.
We was left with like 13 grand.
12.
Yeah, 12.
It was a wrap. I knew it was a wrap. It ain't no coming back from that.
I thought he was gonna let the locksmith go too.
I thought he was gonna let him go too. That was savage. But I understand why he did it. But I felt like he was gonna have a little compassion.
That locksmith was shook.
Yes, he was.
He heard them shots go off. Oh my goodness! I'd have felt the window, anything, just throw my body through. He could. He was like, man.
Yeah, well, he couldn't. Yeah, it was a wrap. That was ugly, man. So Snowfall, man. What was the impact that you think Snowfall had on the black community, the hip hop community, looking back now that it's over?
I feel like Snowfall, definitely a great show. I feel like people weren't talking about it as they should as it was airing. I feel like people didn't start watching it until like season 3, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't
Some
start
people-
watching it until season 2. Because my
Yeah,
bail was
me
like,
too.
yo, you
I
gotta
started
watch
watching season
Snowfall.
2.
So I started watching season 2, and I'm
too.
like, yo, this shit's like legit.
I went back. I watched 2. Well, I once I seen the episode, I think I went and seen. I was somewhere and I watched, and I ain't leave, and I was watching some of it. I was like, man, let me go back.
Yeah.
And I went back and watched a whole season 1, and damn near one night. Then I watched season 2.
But I mean, for me,
It was waiting on season 3.
yeah. But as far as like the impact, I feel like it just a reminder, like how crack and drugs can destroy families, communities. People are addicted. You know what I'm saying? Like this thing can ruin people's lives, and it's like you just killing, like we killing each other.
But more importantly, it opens up the eyes of really the world that our people don't really have nothing to do. Like we didn't make this.
We don't have planes.
This coming
we don't
here,
got
so
boats
but
to ship this.
you
stuff
know what I'm
in.
saying. So for us selling it, you giving us the highest charges possible for something that y'all creating.
Yeah.
Then y'all create the drugs. Nobody else create these drugs that that people getting strung out on, from the pills to everything else.
I agree, man. And this show, I agree with you, Sean. I didn't start watching this to the second season. So I feel like it was slow. I think some people might have just watched it from the beginning off of John Singleton's name, but I feel like that's what you did.
That's what I did.
And I wanted to check it out, but I didn't initially just go rush and check it out. And I did hear when it came out, like the bubbles, like, oh, this is like loosely based off of Freeway Ricky Ross. So that was always something that I was going to get around to. But then when I actually started watching it, I started going back from the beginning in the second season, and I was like, as I was watching it, it was like getting better. It was like everything that happened in the first episode, it kind of like, it just kept on getting better and better and better. And I'm like, wow. But I think the impact for the black community and the hip hop community came where we can really relate and understand what if you got any family and you from any type of urban area, you know what this impact is. So when you're seeing this, you can relate that people that this happened to, whether it's either your family or you directly know them where this stuff happened to. And then you can also see how great some people was, and they just made a couple bad decisions. Now they're a crackhead, you know what I'm saying? Now they're a junkie, or I'm saying, or now they locked up. Now they locked up. It's all about decisions, man. So I think it had a hell of an impact because we, as a black community, can relate to this more than anybody.
Yeah,
it's not like we seen this movie.
It's our culture.
We seen this movie.
Yeah.
So it's real. Yeah, it's like real life for sure. And I think all shows. Some shows are far fetched, and then some shows is like this is really can happen.
Yeah.
And that Snowfall was one of them shows. It was just so well written.
Spot on with the times.
Yeah, so it was like it was believable because we seen this.
Yeah.
Like I seen this.
Yep.
I seen these people. I know a Wanda.
Yeah.
I know a Melody.
Know a few of them.
Yeah.
Know a few of them.
I know Franklin Saints. Like, we got somebody from our hood that was on America's Most Wanted. So we seen this. Like
Carter McCallie at that.
Exactly. Right. On the run. Like this is not like this far-fetched stuff. This ain't like Scarface, Tony Montana. Like we actually seen this stuff. It's just the only difference is it was on the West Coast. So it was a different point.
But I think also too, like Franklin's come up was believable.
Absolutely.
It was like, yo, this probably did happen. You know what I'm saying?
Because you seen it.
Yeah.
Like Carl said, we seen it. Like, so if we seen it at the level that it was at when we was coming up, especially in our neighborhood or in the neighborhoods across the US. So now it's really there because you like, damn, his plug was the CIA. They had the best work it was. He was getting top-notch product.
Yeah.
You feel me? From the CIA.
Yeah.
Which was getting it from the cartels.
Yeah.
You feel me? So when you hear Tupac and them type people talk about in their songs like, or what was the other one? I don't own a poppy field.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, it's really the truth. We don't have nothing to do with that. Y'all brought this stuff over here. Y'all made it legal to kill us. Tobacco, alcohol.
But
You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, but then you gotta think like, why is it only certain areas that's flooded with crack, not like Baldwin Hills or you know what I'm saying? There's certain demographic areas that got a liquor store on every corner.
Yeah, but it's a different drug of choice when you get to them type hills.
Yeah.
But Melrose Hill, Melrose, and all them Hamptons, and all that's a different type of drug. So now you going to the powder, and you'll never see their habits not unless Johnny he lost his job. He done sniffed up a whole quarter. You know what I'm saying?
But his dad, the police chief.
But you ain't and his peoples and all that. You don't hear about it.
It was one of the biggest things that got put in the black community that helped divide us even more.
And heroin
as a people. As a people.
Yep, as a people.
It divided us even more because it created wars.
Because the heroin was already there.
It created territorial things.
Yeah.
It put people in jail.
People are still in jail today because of that.
Either put people in jail or strung them out, took the fathers from the families. It divided the black community.
Yeah.
It's generations that still haven't recovered from this era.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fact.
Yeah.
It's terrible, man. And we didn't do this. We didn't create that. we didn't fly it in here.
Exactly.
We wasn't no black man going to the plug.
And then during the years of our come up, they threw it at you in commercials. This is your brain on drugs. Here come a fried egg. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, like all that shit was the lead up and the backup of supporting what they already knew.
Yeah.
That's why it was so pivotal and so strong when Franklin Dad got on that radio and said what he said. Because now you creating ledger and you creating audio for something that the people that's woke, or might say woke, or that really are like the Dr. Martin Luther Kings, the ones that was really talking about the government. You know what I'm saying? Because then it turns out what they all say, or when the docu-series and stuff say, the government killed them.
Yeah.
Because you're telling the truth. So now, all right, man, Franklin Pop, man, I don't care if it's his Pop. Blow his head off.
Facts.
You feel me?
Facts. Yeah, it had a big...
He shouldn't have let him in.
It had a big impact, man, on the black community, man. And that's
what made it dope.
This show, I agree, man. That's what made
what made it real.
Absolutely.
I don't know too many people that own clubs and wear brand new suits every day and jump in and out of a Cadillac truck in the middle of New York City, and I don't know all that.
And they always got a parking spot too. Crazy, yo.
So I don't know nothing about that, but I like that for what it's worth. But don't compare Snowfall and things of that nature to something like that.
Bro.
It's not no comparison.
No comparison at all.
Yeah.
All right, so John Singleton's goal I mentioned before with this was to capture a time period before Boys in the Hood. The time period before. Do you feel like the mission was accomplished with that?
I think so. You think, Lenny?
Yeah, I believe so. I wasn't around, but I believe that because when Boys in the Hood came out, of course,
powerful.
Powerful. And then I seen on the last episode that tribute to his vision.
That was dope.
Where they walked past the Boys in the Hood set. And based on what happened in the 80s, like I said in the beginning of the show, I felt like I got educated about what happened in the 80s with the crack epidemic. So yeah, I think it did a good job.
That was another improv part that Damson did. When he said it's not going to win an Oscar, that wasn't in the script initially. He made that, and that was powerful because that was a big thing. Like,
but it did.
So that was a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was so dope. That was one of them small things that to me was like so genius because like you couldn't really see it all the way, but you seen him. It looked just like John Singleton. But then the details because. The Doughboy character, the shirt, and it was the exact shirt, and I'm like, wow,
I think it was the right color.
I think that was the right color. You don't think so?
It wasn't.
That looked like the exact shirt to me.
I think Doughboy had like a red and almost like some Freddy Krueger type. But I mean, but we all know who it was.
No, I think that was the exact color shirt. Sean.
Yo, but then also going back to John Singleton, I think like season 2 or 3. When they were walking through the hood, John Singleton had his little camera. So you see his come up at the end of the thing too. So I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was dope. I think they did a good job. And,
Yeah.
And like I said, they had a couple hiccups for a minute, but I think they got back on path. And,
absolutely.
And the sixth and final season, man, that was crazy.
Yo, I was just thinking, like, what if they ended it with like the LA riots?
You was mentioning that.
Like, I don't know why. I just wanted to.
So that mean they would have to go to 1992 then, right? As far as isn't that when it happened, 1992?
That's
the
right.
Yeah.
They really got to 1990.
Yeah.
So that'd have been 2 years. You're right.
But I mean, I don't think that would. I mean, do you think that would have helped the story or?
I mean, so you. I'm trying to figure out like why did you want it to happen that way? 'Cause I'm just trying to figure out why then I can help you out.
Why you want it?
I mean, just to show. I mean, just to show like, you know what I mean, like just the. I guess this is almost like not like a volcano erupting, but this is like the cause of drugs, police. Like this is just a big explosion.
Gotcha,
This all this
gotcha.
stuff been building up in our community, so it's like this is our outrage.
Got you. Yeah.
So
I feel you, bro. That makes sense.
Well, that could have worked. I mean, it would have been once again more believable because this really happened in real life. But overall, I think the vision of John Singleton was captured. Despite,
Definitely.
and of course, nobody thought he was going to pass away when they first started this. When this whole series first came out, but I think they really did a good, honorable job of carrying his memory on and his whole vision for it. I think they did a great job.
But there's no other director in the West Coast to tell this story but John Singleton.
Absolutely.
Being from there, being a film. Come on, man.
Whether if you sold it to him or not, who else would you want to do it?
Made a classic, man.
Yeah.
We celebrated
Like,
Boys in the Hood.
I know you might be upset about it. You know what I'm saying? Freeway with Rose, but who else would you want to put this out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
And he did a great job. He did
You know
a
what
great
I'm saying?
job, man. So, for somebody, either younger like Lenny or maybe from a different culture, looking at a show like Snowfall, which, is about somebody selling drugs, man, with the CIA and the people in the hood distributing drugs, selling drugs, bringing drugs into the black community. Somebody either young or from a different culture that really are not familiar with this as much. How do you think the whole crack era, was it represented in a way everybody can understand it now with this show?
It was represented before that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but
that was
they didn't have
that was a goal though with this show though.
Yeah, I understand that, but it was other things that they could have watched before this. Is what I'm saying for that crack era. You know what I'm saying? But as far as a actual show, like I said on TV, you know what I'm saying, national television with commercials, you couldn't get it no better than this. You would never think that something like this would be on regular TV.
FX
at that.
Shout out they let them get away with a lot of shit.
Yeah,
they did.
Yep.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
This ain't the normal FX show. Nah. I mean, I'm not FX.
I'm not an FX fan.
Yeah,
but
I don't know
I
all the
only
shows
went there
on
for
FX,
Snowfall.
but I don't think FX has a lot of shows like Snowfall.
Animal Kingdom was like that too.
Really?
Sons
Animal
of-
Kingdom was
Sons
there.
of-
That's
Sons
another
of-
good series,
yeah,
man.
Sons of Anarchy was the same.
Yeah.
As far as like showing a bunch of vulgar stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Yo, so like as black men, are y'all tired of seeing all the black shows got something to do with drugs? Are y'all tired of seeing that narrative?
That's a great question because, like, okay, as a creator myself, right, I do get tired of it because I want more diversity as far as storytelling with the black community. You know what I'm saying? Because, like Freak said, the story has been told before.
Yeah.
And even though it was a great show, if we do show the drug and the crime stuff, that's cool. But we have to show more fantasy and adventurous stuff too to show that black people could be in everything. That's it don't gotta be put to an end per se, but I'm just saying we need way more magical romance and all types of stuff with the black community as far as film.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough of it yet.
But then when we do have one, Lovecraft Country, they cancel it.
Well, okay, so I read about that. So I was pissed when I got canceled, right? So apparently one of the showrunners and head writers who was also an executive producer, unfortunately, she was a black woman. She, unfortunately, is what I'm saying, she had a problem with the people on the show that she was helping run the show with.
Yeah.
So it ended up being canceled because they couldn't come to a deal or not a deal. They couldn't come to conclusion of what they were going to do with season 3 and things like that. So it was a lot of internal stuff that hasn't come out yet.
Other stuff.
Yeah, a lot of other stuff, man. Unfortunately, but I was pissed, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted that because that was an amazing show. That was our Stranger Things. That was our Game of Thrones right there.
And it's
it's crazy, man.
Like, not to get too sidetracked, but I never seen a show that won Emmys, but there was no second season. Like, how does that even happen?
That's crazy.
HBO, they dropped the ball on that one.
I agree with you 100%, Lenny. I do think because Freaks, you mentioned this with some other shows. I ain't even gonna really break down other shows, but it's like a whole lanes is being created for they just want to see drug shows. And the story, the story writing is not that good to me. It's like it's far fetched. It's a lot of stuff is like repeat storylines over and over again, and it's getting boring. Now with Snowfall, I think the way they depicted it and specifically how it ended, it really to me captured the crack cocaine era, but it also said like nobody won.
Yeah.
Nobody. Well, really, the only people that win is the CIA because they're the only people that can back out without anything really happening to them. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like this show really depicted like what happened in that era, and it was writing, and it wasn't just just glorifying drugs. You seen the what happened to people, what killing people, getting strung out, and all of that. But at the end of the day, what did the crack era do, man? The crack era destroyed the black community, but we ain't do it. We ain't do it. Look what it did. Our era, when we grow up in the 80s, we were catching. A lot of our parents in our community wasn't home. The fathers weren't home. It really took away from the black man. Mm-hmm. Like the black male figure in the house, they wasn't home. Why? They were either locked up, they were either strung out on drugs, or they got killed from drug wars. Yeah. All of that came from the crack era. It's something that we ain't provide. So this is a harsh reality, and I feel like a show like Snowfall really captured it. It wasn't just this glorified fairy tale that make you just think it's gonna be this happy ending. No, Franklin's story wasn't happy. But there's a lot of Franklins out there. Yes, there's a lot of washed up dudes that telling us what they did when in their heyday, and we looking at them like, we don't even believe you. Like, or the young boys today looking at you like it's a lot of Franklin Saints. So that's why it wasn't what everybody wanted. He didn't get his $73 million and went and ran off in the sunset. But it's a harsh reality of it's a bunch of dudes like him. Yeah, telling their glory days. And like I don't
glory
believe
days that they never had. Like,
yeah, man.
This is crazy.
That crack era was deadly, man. Yeah, it was deadly. The only thing about this, it wasn't like this just happened in New York. This happened in New York. Everywhere. This happened in Delaware. This happened in Cali, Detroit, Philly, all over the country. How did this stuff get here? Stop it, man. Yeah. And that's my only problem with this show is that it's the harsh reality because the government got away. Everybody is damaged but the government. Yeah. They didn't care about Teddy at the end of the day.
Just a cog in the machine.
now, if y'all listened to Dick Gregory before, though, the karma came back, though, because a lot of these guys that worked for the government at that time, their kids are on meth now everywhere. So it's a lot of these kids, unfortunately, that's dropping dead from meth. That's in Kansas, that's in Missouri, that's in Oklahoma, Idaho, Utah, Iowa, dropping like flies. It's not being reported a lot by the news, but it's happening every single day, and this is their epidemic.
But then what we doing, Lenny? We ain't locking them up though. Nope. We getting them help,
therapy and stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole different dynamic. You see the narrative they pushing.
Yeah, rehab centers everywhere.
They giving us football numbers. Yep. They getting rehab. Yes. Like it's a narrative they painting. Like they doing the same thing.
Same thing.
It's crazy, man. It's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game out here. How would you describe Teddy and Franklin's relationship during the course of this show?
How would you describe that?
Because it was a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster for sure.
It's kind of family, man. It was lovely. Yeah, we said that. We talked about that as far as him being like a father figure, being as though he was the only child. That was his only nephew. You know?
No, Teddy.
Oh, Teddy. Oh. It was business. It was business, but like Teddy was his teacher as well. It's just that it went wrong.
Remember how they met?
Yeah, I know.
He crashed into him. He did. Then he pretty much kidnapped him. Had him tied up. like this is a hell of a way to break somebody.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he made him millions.
Yeah, I mean, they had like at first it seemed like a partnership, like business partners, but then at the end you realize like it ain't that.
I got you, Carl. You said, how would you describe their relationship? It was foul. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was foul.
Man, I think it's still nigga, man. Like what happened? What happened with their relationship? Franklin got to the point where Franklin was realizing the game and say, you know what? I got my money. I'm ready to get out. Teddy, like, no, you don't get out. Like, no, I made you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take all your money back. And then they created what Franklin became. But Franklin seen it. Like, oh, you know what? I'm about to go full into this real estate thing.
Yeah.
And get out. We made our money. Or I can even pass it to Louis. Y'all want that? Here.
Yeah.
No, but he just took it from him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when he felt like, when Teddy felt like Franklin was getting too big, I'm just going to take everything from you.
I did all this for what?
Just because I can.
Yeah.
Just because I can. And then what did that turn Franklin into? An animal.
Yeah. Savage.
So I think Teddy was like, "Nah, I made you. You ain't bigger than me."
And you know what? He probably like, you know what? Us government CIA, we just make another one.
Mm-hmm. That quick.
That's how I go.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much in real life. That's what they. What they did.
Yeah.
This is sad, man. Teddy was a scum. Teddy was a great character though, but Teddy was scum, dog. Yeah, Teddy was a straight scumbag, freaks.
He was a hustler too.
He was. Mm-hmm. He was, man. Any great show has a great character that gets that stamp. You know, what no matter the show. Did Damson Idris put his stamp on Franklin Saint in pop culture?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
For sure.
This is.
Yeah. He's definitely solidified.
You know, around this time back in the day, you start popping up in videos and shit.
You're right. You be the leading actor and all the video. I definitely think this is going to be the beginning of just because if you know about him in real life and just the way he talks in real life to do this and the way it ended, like a lot of times shows don't end strong.
Yeah.
This show ended very strong to me.
It's hard to end a series.
Yeah.
And they ended it. I feel like everybody was like, all right, that was good.
Yeah. It was like, you know, some people you get built up and then the scene just goes black like The Sopranos. Yeah. Like this was really, it wasn't what you wanted, but you was like, wow. Like from a creative standpoint, like
definitely well thought out.
They did that.
Yeah.
And he put his stamp on this thing. Yeah. Like acting wise, he was acting. Like he should get Emmy nominated for this, particularly this season. And they don't really get no love like that, shows like this. But he deserved it, man. Franklin Saint is a part of pop culture. And it's crazy that I said though, because like you said, Sean, people wasn't really worried about this.
It really wasn't.
People got on this early. This wasn't like Snowfall. Nah, people was like, this really caught steam at the end.
Mm-hmm. I remember at one point, like it took like a year or two to come out with the next season or something. I was like, damn, is this?
And then you could tell when it started popping because it was like next year. So. Nah, for sure, man. Does the government get a pass in history with how they did, like in this situation with Snowfall?
Never get a pass.
Nope, never get a pass. Nope.
Never ever get a pass.
Never happened.
For their responsibility, because they're responsible for the crack era.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We're the faces. We became the faces of it. Mm-hmm. But the government is responsible for crack.
They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. But I don't think they get a pass from the black community.
Nah.
But I think everybody else equates crack with us because that's what they were. That's what they were shown. That's what they were projected.
Yeah, that's what they show.
When you show crack era, they always show like the streets, and then it's always the hood.
You think Pookie, somebody like that, like
the government is never brought up in that. Like the government, the CIA, like they are responsible for this, man. They are responsible for it, man.
Crazy.
Wow, man. What messages did you take from the show? Messages that you took from the show, looking back on it.
I think some of the messages would be just like we gotta do better as a people. I guess do the right thing and just know when to get out. I guess if you can get out.
Crack, man. It's no happy ending.
There's none
to crack cocaine era. It's no happy ending.
Yeah.
Even if he would have made $73 million and lost everybody around him, is that really happy? Yeah, you got your paper, but you lost a lot on it. He lost himself.
Then you'll be forever looking over your shoulder. You know what I mean? Like,
just knowing people too, like that's in the game or were in the game. It's like never a happy ending, like you said. It's never like that's. You don't come out on top as far as like people that you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, they ain't win. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and I wanted them to win, you know, because I seen how effed up the government was or is, and I wanted them to win, but it's like they ain't win. So that's unfortunate, you know.
Yeah. I mean, but can you win a game that with the rules are always changing and you're never supposed to win?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, with the CIA and the way this situation, it's a game that you can't win. You can't beat the government.
You can't beat the government.
You can't beat the government.
You can't.
But I think it's also a message that look what Franklin Saint became, and because of his at one point his love for money and power subsided any family relationship, any love that he had for anybody else. It was all about my money at some point.
Yeah.
And like look how that became his demise in the ending. That became his demise. He could have just said, you know what, my mom, man, it's crazy, mom. I almost got my paper, but I ain't get it now.
Yeah.
So let me take these properties I got back out of this project. Even when the guy was coming, the guy that he ain't like was coming to buy his share from him. That would have helped him financially.
Yeah.
But the pride and the ego of Franklin was like, nah, I ain't selling to you. Like we gonna and then now his wife shouldn't have went behind his back and did that without talking to him. But at the same time, it would have helped him to where he wouldn't have ended up where he was at the end of the thing.
Yeah.
But his ego, man.
Yeah.
His ego. So that was a major message I got. And then the crack era, nobody won. Nobody won. It's bad, man.
Yeah. Killer Mike had a message a couple years ago about like if you win the game, try to get out early, flip that money. To do what you can, you know what I'm saying? And I wonder how hard that is in real life. Though.
It is, man. It is, man. Jay-Z had the song The Allure of the game.
Addicted to a lifestyle.
It's like, it sounds good, but then when you start making a certain level of money, it's like, all right, I'm going to make a little more, then I'm going to quit. I make a little more, then I'm going to quit. Then you get locked up. And then you go to jail. Or then people realize, then you get on the Fed's radar. Like, it's always somebody snitch on you. It's like... It's like it never ends well.
Yeah,
you're playing a game that you can't win.
Absolutely.
But you can understand why people play the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Because a lot of times you get put in situations. I'm not trying to make excuses. But a lot of times people are put in situations where these are the only options they feel like they got to succeed in any way. This is all they know. So. And I'm not making excuses, but that's just life. That's life in the hood a lot of times. They don't have no mentors. They don't have people invested in them. Or some people were even like the gang LA culture. Like you're born into these gangs pretty much. This is your only option.
Yeah.
Sadly. You know that, but that's life. But hey man, if you can look at this, show and you could be like, damn. Like Franklin Saint was that dude.
Yeah.
And look what happened to him, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Snowfall. Favorite moments over these 6 seasons. What are some of the favorite moments looking back at the show you remember?
I think for me, the scene where Leon went to the jail to see Franklin for the first time, that was a dope scene. I like that a lot. Anything with Jerome, like him and Franklin sitting at the
that was
at the restaurant, he slapped him twice. That was a great scene.
That was powerful.
Man,
That was probably one of my favorites.
So much good acting, yo.
That was a great acting scene. That was powerful.
My favorite scene is when Gustavo saved Franklin when Teddy was trying to hang him, and then
that was dope too.
He came in clutch on that moment.
Yeah.
When Melody shot Franklin, that was crazy.
He was crawling on the ground.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was definitely a moment. Yeah, like you said, Jerome and Franklin in that restaurant, that was powerful, man. That was some great acting right there.
I think even when Scully's kids got killed, I thought that was like, whoa, like it shows that side of
that was big.
You know what I mean? Things can happen like that, and it does happen.
That was big. The scene with it's funny because this is a great show because we're saying a lot of scenes from the final season. But even that Louie, when they had her in there and they was going to rape her or whatever,
torturing her.
Yeah, that was crazy. The Peaches one at the end was crazy. Like the way particularly with the safe part of that. That was crazy, man.
Yeah, it's some classic scenes.
It's some classic scenes, man. Some great acting, man. Any favorite scenes?
Probably a lot of the ones y'all said, man. But definitely when him and Jerome was in the restaurant. I also like the scene with him and Louie at the end when he was really breaking it down to her, and she really couldn't see the big picture of everything, and by him saying that he was really done. You know what I'm saying? That was like some hard shit for him to go out all because of her, because he went out the house arguing with her, and that's why they said never go out the house arguing sometimes.
Yeah. Also, when Franklin killed Teddy dad, that was sad. I was like, he different right now. Like he's an animal.
This is real.
He's a whole animal right now.
He didn't care because he killed his. So
you're right. But I'm like, he's a whole animal. And even just that moment that you mentioned that when at the end of that season, because that was the end of the season. Remember, you just seen Teddy show up with the dad, like wow. And you ain't really know how it was gonna come back the next season. That was big, man. Oh man,
so many too.
When he killed the cop, when he killed Andre.
That was
in the
crazy.
kitchen.
Yeah,
when he killed Kevin, his best friend. That was a big deal. Like that was his guy. That hurt him. When he killed Rob, the white boy, remember?
Yeah, boy, took him to
that hurt him too, but he knew he had to. At that point, the way Rob was moving.
Yeah. What was the guy that he first killed when he had my man tied up to the chair and he hit him with the baseball bat?
You talking about when they went to get the dude money and the dude was raping the guy?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That was
crazy.
Like, yo, this shit
in
was
the
crazy.
Crib. Yeah, that was a hell of a way to get them. That was
like,
crazy.
Season
man.
1, what the?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
and then when he went to jail, wow, when Teddy hit him, when Teddy just hit him in the car, like what the hell, like that's some great moments, man.
Definitely,
great moments, man. Great show, man. Favorite characters on Snowfall?
I like Leon a lot. I like his character as as he had him going from this thug to becoming woke, but still coming back home, and you know what I'm saying, just trying to find his way. And then also like the fact that he was reading about the laws and stuff, and how like we need to get out of here because these laws is about to change and we about to get hit. So I thought that was dope, man.
Yeah, Leon was great. Of course, Uncle Jerome, was one of my favorites. And then of course Franklin Saint, but other than him, Leon and Uncle Jerome was.
I like Scully too.
Yeah, I like Scully too.
Scully's definitely.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Franklin and Louie's character due to how many people hate her. So it showed me what she did.
That's
right.
a great character, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
You not a fan of Sissy Freaks?
Nah, I ain't a fan of Sissy.
Florida Evans.
Yeah. Sissy came in and fucked shit up.
yes, she did.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes, she did. All right, so in the history of the drug crime drama series, where would Snowfall fall in that? Where would you put Snowfall at?
I'm probably gonna put it top 3.
Top 3 is good.
Put it top 3.
To me, Snowfall is only second to 1. And that's The
Wire.
The Wire is number 1, and Snowfall is number 2. I think Snowfall is way better than Power. Just personally, I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I can't rank them. I like too many shows. Like I like The Sopranos. I like The Wire. I like Breaking Bad. I like Ozark.
Ozark's great. Freaks compares Ozark to Snowfall. I don't. I think they're
because it's stuck in the time.
I think
you focus
Ozark's
on the
different.
time. Focus on the time. That's why I say it's in my top 3.
And then I know since I'm the young buck, right? It's a new show out, and due to a kid like myself, 'cause my dad grew up in the hood. Since my dad grew up in the hood, he didn't want his kids growing up in the hood. Absolutely. So I grew up in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? And growing up in the suburbs, you see a lot what these white kids and shit be doing. So it's a show called Euphoria. That's also that's like a drug show and stuff too. And man, that shit is accurate as a mug, bro.
That's
like
what Zendaya's on,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So like that's one of them top shows too. It got a lot of crazy shit on there, but this is what these kids be doing out here. When you grew up in these suburbs,
I'm gonna have to jump into that.
When you grow up in now, freaks, it's gonna be some shit you don't like, freaks. And I'm just saying.
But
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know.
I like getting the other side of things.
I'm giving you a heads up, but these kids in the suburbs crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is, man. All right, man. Snowfall, 6 seasons.
Classic.
What is the legacy of? You already
just don't touch it no more, man.
Snowfall.
Just don't touch it no more. Leave it alone.
That's right. You mean
leave it alone.
No Snowfall 2.
I don't see no spinoffs either.
Nah, I don't see no spinoffs. I think it ended perfectly. Yeah. No spinoffs. Nah,
that's right.
That's it.
I think it's a classic, man. Legacy. Definitely. I think Snowfall is a classic. I think it was well wrote. One of the better written shows that I ever seen. Like this, I really like writing, and when writing is to me, and I know Lenny can appreciate great writing, being a writer yourself, but dope writing is when I can predict the storyline like all the way. Like it's like, damn man, I predicted that. But like when it takes you on all these loops and like, oh snap, like I didn't even think about that, but it makes sense. Like that's compelling to me. Yeah. And Snowfall was compelling. And like I said, it had a few hiccups, but the way it ended, it had my full attention. Yeah. Sean, I used to tell you, Sean, like, yo, you see it, Snowfall, like it had me to the very end. And then at the end, it was like, wow, I didn't think this, but I get it. I get what they were bringing across, and it worked.
It's like you watching a good show when you watch a great show and you go back watch something else. Like, what am I watching? You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is so fake. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, like you said, great writing, man. That's what it's about.
That's where it starts.
It's classic, man.
Classic.
Man, salute. Rest in peace to John Singleton. Man, thank you for bringing this to life. Yeah. Helping getting this, because without John Singleton's name, this ain't getting greenlighted at all. Fruition. So we definitely thank you, man. Thank you to all the characters, man. Y'all did a great job, man. Damson Idris, you did a great job, man. Dope. Everybody did a great job. If you hate the character, that means they did a great job. Like Teddy's character was it's a great character.
People probably think he's Teddy in real life.
Obviously, crazy.
Like he great call Teddy.
No, for the rest of his life, for sure.
Or Aaron Rodgers,
especially
Aaron Rodgers.
That's crazy.
But man, thank you, man. Thank y'all, everybody that was involved in this show. Classic show. One of the true that I can really stand on saying a classic, and I feel I can stand on it. Like Snowfall was a classic show. Some people didn't think it was going to end how it ended. People didn't think we was even going to get to this point when this show first started. Yeah. But I think, man, mission was accomplished, man.
Yo, we cannot not talk about this. If you love Snowfall, please stop what you're doing. Listen to this Sky Zoo, The Mind of a Saint album.
Dope album.
That is like the unofficial soundtrack to this whole series.
Very creative,
very
man.
Dope.
Sky Zoo, Mind of a Saint. Album. Very creative. He wrote it from the mind of Franklin Saint. It was a dope body work. And now he's seen the end, he's going to do a deluxe version. Yeah. Very dope. Very creative, man. Very creative. Very dope. Snowfall. If you haven't seen Snowfall, if you haven't seen the end, because people still telling me like, "Oh, I haven't seen." Don't tell me I ain't watched the end. Spoiler alert, man. Spoiler alert, man. You good? We already let it go, man. So don't watch this episode. But once again, man, congrats, salute to everybody involved in Snowfall. For the record, everybody. I'm sorry to say this. For the record. Franklin Saint did cooperate with the government. If you ain't believe he did, he definitely did. He cooperated with the government, freaks. So he wasn't just a clean-cut drug. I said that. He wasn't a clean-cut drug dealer.
I've been said that.
Rest in peace to Taz. He used to always say this in the beginning. It's a great show, but Franklin Saint is cooperating. So whether you want to call it a snitch, rat, he cooperated with the government. When he found out the CIA was the CIA, he continued to work with them. Yeah. So he cooperated with the government. Absolutely. Let's just to clear that up, street guys. I'm sorry.
Freaks, what's up with Praz?
Oh, man.
What is going on with that?
Yo, man. Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure y'all go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast. Word. Make sure y'all little download, subscribe. Man. We on all digital platforms. Make sure y'all go to our YouTube page. Subscribe, man. Thank y'all for running those numbers up, man, on our YouTube page. Continue to show us some love. Man, how we going to continue to do, man. Long live Taz, man. Yes, we love you, brother, man. We going to continue to march forth. Lenny, man, thank you, good brother.
Absolutely.
Love y'all, man.
Every time Lenny come through, baby.
Lenny, tell them how they can check out your projects, your books, man. Give them that information real quick.
Yeah, man. Go to my website, Lenny's Imagination, and you also can follow me on Instagram at Lenny's_Imagination, and just check out all my books. I got 9 books right now, and then I'm headed mainstream soon. So I'm about to head up to the mountaintop. So y'all, make sure y'all follow me. All right.
It's coming.
This brother is the real deal. I put my stamp on it, man. This brother is the real deal. Thank you, man. You always family. It ain't like it's an invite no more. You family, man. Word. We always love you. We always gonna continue to bring you back. We always gonna.
Might gotta bring you back on that what if drink.
What if part two, man.
Part 2.
All for it.
Yeah, bro, man. Yo, we appreciate y'all, man. Concert Crew Podcast. We here. We ain't going nowhere. Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader. We out.
Yes.
Yeah.